Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. We got there in the end.
We did. I was here and I was like, why is it not letting me join?
I know. I was like,
So
oh
I'm like,
no, this is not happening today or all
no,
day.
you're good, you're good, you're good, you're good, you're good.
It's so nice to have you join me. So just a quick
Thank you.
introduction. Oh, my pleasure, honestly. So just for everybody that's going to join, welcome everyone. This is the Holistic Health Series where we like to shine a light and bring more visibility to brands, advocates, products, sources, resources that enable women to empower their own health and well-being journeys. And I'm joined by the lovely Serena of Let's Talk PCOS,
Hi.
which is polycystic ovary system. And I'm just so honoured to have you here with me today.
Oh, stop it. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I'm so happy
No,
to be
of
here as well.
course. Oh, lovely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we're just going to have a chat about polycystic ovary syndrome, polycystic
Okay.
ovary syndrome, which obviously is a hormonal genetic metabolic disorder. And we know that over 50% of women are walking around undiagnosed, and that it can have some serious long-term implications on women's health. And I would just love to hear from you, Serena, about your lived experience about being diagnosed with polycystic ovary system and how you've navigated that journey, both medically and emotionally.
Sure. Okay, so shall I start off with how I was diagnosed, maybe?
Yes, please. That would be wonderful.
So I was noticing that I wasn't having regular periods. Well, I wasn't having a period each month. So yeah, regular periods. And I also noticed that I started to get some facial hairs on my chin. So I went to the doctors, and I'd never heard of PCOS prior to this. But I went to the doctors and I basically explained that I'm having irregular periods. I'm not having periods each month. And they were like, it sounds like you could have PCOS. And then I explained, oh yeah, like I've also started to notice that I've had facial hairs like in my chin. And I was like, what's PCOS? And the doctor was like to me, it's called polycystic ovarian syndrome, and you might have some difficulty trying to get pregnant and you just need to lose some weight. And I was
Oh, wow.
yeah, and I was only 20 when this was the case. So obviously not what you want to hear, like quite young. And I've never been a big girl. I've never been, and this is not to say that, you know, you're automatically going to have problems when you're big. I've just never had weight problems. That was never a thing, like when I was younger. So yeah, that was the issue, or that was how I got diagnosed, I guess. So my doctor told me to go and do some blood tests. I did some blood tests. My bloods all came back fine, but then I still wasn't having the periods every month. So I was like, you know, my bloods have come back fine, but you know, I'm still not having my periods each month. And they were like, okay, cool, we're going to get you to do an ultrasound.
Okay.
So I did a transvaginal ultrasound, which is where they will stick something up there and have a look around. And then, yeah, they saw that my ovaries were polycystic. So that's what brought me to my diagnosis about 10 years ago now. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a little while and it's been 10 years of just like researching and learning, and here I am now.
And how was that for you at 21, being diagnosed with PCOS and being told that information specifically, that it's just a case of this? And do you know what I mean? Because the way you said it, it was like, well, you just need to lose some weight. Like, you're 21 years old. You've never heard
Literally
of it.
21 years old. And obviously fertility wasn't what I was thinking about at that age, but I've always known that I want to be a mum. So that was concerning, but I just kind of just like took it on the chin because I didn't see like anyone else going for anything like this, like, you know, so just took it on the chin. But yeah, obviously very disheartening, like to kind of find out something's wrong with you, like whilst you're so young, and it doesn't appear that anybody else around you seems to have anything wrong with them. So that wasn't so pleasant, you know.
I can only imagine. And how, like, did you feel, I know you went off and did the research yourself, which is fantastic, and sometimes that can be a bit of a minefield in itself, and finding the correct information, accurate information, you know, because there's so much out there. and like finding the trustworthy sources to really be able to help yourself. So that must have been a process in itself, just being so young and being out there.
100%. And I feel like, and this is not to shame the NHS, I think the NHS are amazing at what they do, but I just feel like there's no information at all. And of course, this isn't something that is taught in schools. So I didn't even know anything about it. I didn't know anything about like polycystic ovaries, or that you have problems with your ovaries, or anything like that. I didn't even know it was a thing. I just thought like,
Yeah,
you know, you have your periods and then you get pregnant when you want to get pregnant, and that's
yeah,
kind of how life goes.
I hear you.
But yeah, it was definitely a journey, quite young as well.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm here now,
Mhm.
quite soaked up with the knowledge. So I kind of just thank God for that, really, I guess.
Yeah, and it's incredible because that's particularly why I wanted to speak with you, because it's so important that younger women have access to this information. Because, like
Hmm.
you said, even though things have changed massively in 10 years in terms of what is accessible and so forth, I feel like so many women are going through this situation in silos. Like,
100%.
wherever, even if it's not a medical conversation, where the conversations amongst community, you know, to really open this up and let young women know that they're not on their own, and
Yeah.
even older women. You don't have to be young, because, like I said, there's just so much out there, and there's so many different kind of female health conditions with
Yeah.
similar overlapping symptoms as well. So getting
Yeah.
that clarification is so
Grey
important.
area. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I just wanted to talk a little bit more about, in your opinion, how
Yeah.
accessible do you think that current kind of avenues of support are around PCOS, and has that changed since when you were first diagnosed until now?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, okay, so when I was diagnosed, no, I wasn't even given like a booklet or anything of like what PCOS is. I was just like told this thing. I don't know whether that is the case now, like at the
Yeah,
diagnosis stage. I don't know if like if you're 15 or 16, you go to the doctors, you're maybe handed a little bit of information. I don't know. I can't say.
yeah,
But what I would say is that I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like PCOS is treated like, come back to us when you want to have a baby,
yeah,
as that kind of problem. And I feel
hmm,
like that is very problematic in itself,
yeah,
because a lot of people don't know that PCOS can lead to things like diabetes, it can lead to uterine cancer.
hmm,
There's a whole, there's so much more of an avenue that, or there's an avenue of problems that come
hmm,
with this diagnosis. And in my opinion, do I think the support is there? Not really. I feel like you really have to advocate for yourself. I think that's the case in women's health in general. But I feel like, yeah, like even at the beginning of the year, I actually just recently turned 30, but at the beginning of the year, I just turned 31, sorry, but at the beginning of the year, I just turned 30, or was turning 30, and I said, like, you know, I want to see how my ovaries are looking now. I want to get an
hmm,
ultrasound. Being that I'm in a new decade now, you know, I just want to see how things are looking. And I feel like I had to almost like, it was like fight
yeah,
the doctors for the ultrasound.
hmm,
I was met with like, oh, but are you trying for a baby? And I was like, no, I'm not trying for a baby. I just want to see how things are looking now. I just want to see how my health is, you know?
yeah,
And that's what I say, is that I feel like PCOS is almost treated like, just come back to us when you're ready to have a baby,
yeah,
like as that kind of problem. So yeah, I don't know. I can't say what is happening at the groundwork, at the diagnosis
hmm,
stage. I feel like, yeah, we are hearing more about it now because of social
hmm,
media, because of the rise of platforms like Instagram and TikTok,
yeah,
and we hear a lot more about endometriosis. So now that we hear about endo, we hear about, oh, but there are other conditions, you know.
hmm,
But I don't think that there is enough resources at that diagnosis stage. I don't feel like
yeah,
you really know what to do. And as you mentioned, it's also a metabolic condition. It's really treated as a
hmm,
reproductive condition, but that's sometimes a little bit
yeah,
wrong. So yeah, I don't think there's enough, if I'm honest. I
yeah.
think it shouldn't have to take people that are patients to keep raising awareness or to learn about things.
Hmm.
So yeah,
No, I
it's
completely agree, and I think you're so right. And it. although it shouldn't be that way, I'm glad that we at least have something in that sense, that it's a lot through the kind of self advocacy that a lot of this information is coming out through charities, through organisations, through people who have lived experience, and they're just setting up groups themselves to support other women within their community, which is creating the platform and the access to that information. But obviously something does need to change at a systemic level, because it shouldn't take that, like from diagnosis
100%.
level and in terms of community, it should be like a cohesive thing, that both things come together to help you be informed and take those next steps, you know?
No, I completely agree. I completely agree. And thank you for avenues and platforms like yourself for having people like me to like have these conversations and raise awareness.
No, but it's so important, because storytelling is everything, right?
100%.
It's because if you've been through the experience, people are more naturally going to listen to it, and it's going to resonate, you know. 100%. It's going to mean so much more paired with that kind of medical insight as well. So we need both, and I feel like a lot of time storytelling is undermined a little bit and undervalued, and it really shouldn't be.
I agree. Thank you.
So you started your on throughout like the challenging period of COVID, just sharing your PCOS journey, sharing what's working for you and so forth. How did that transition into curating such a beautiful event as you did earlier on in the year, which I'm still so sad that I missed out on?
It's okay, we go again next year. By God's sake, we go again.
Amazing. I will 1000% be there from you.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
So you curated a really amazing event called Let's Talk Womb Wellness.
Yeah.
Which allowed women to become more informed about their health and well-being. So how did that transition happen?
Oh my God, what a question. Okay, so yeah, as you said, I created Let's Talk PCOS just well, I saw Kiki Palmer do a post that went quite viral. And she was basically talking about her skin, and she had this, God bless her, she had this quite bad outbreak, and she was mentioning, you saw the post, right? So I saw that post throughout lockdown, and she mentioned she had PCOS, and I shared it on my personal Instagram, and I was like, I wish so many people would talk about PCOS, like, and it just became a conversation with a friend, and she was like, yeah, I have PCOS too, and I was like, I'm going to create an Instagram, like, but it was just meant to be something that was like raise a bit of awareness. It was a little bit of boredom. I had the extra time on my hands. We all did throughout lockdown, you know, like we were stuck indoors. But I guess what created, or what I guess has shifted to the events, is through learning about PCOS, I've learned, and having this page, I've met so many amazing women, like-minded women that are advocates of fibroids or endo or adenomyosis. Like, there's so much more that goes into women's health. And I thought I knew stuff, right? Like, oh, I have PCOS, oh, I know. But, you know, there's so much that I've learned, and there's so much of the woman's body that is connected to just in general health, like gut health, fitness. And I've been learning this, like, you know, doing my research and stuff. And I thought, if I've got all this information, like, I can share this information with women, right? So at the beginning of the year, I actually had a conversation with my auntie. I was in Ghana. I'm of Ghanaian origin. I was in Ghana at the beginning of the year. And my auntie was asking me, like, oh, like, you know, what do you think is your purpose in life? And I was like, my purpose in life? And I was like, oh, I work for government, like, I'm a civil servant. You know, like, we typically associate our jobs and our titles as ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, no, what is your purpose in life, Serena? And I was like, I'm really passionate about women's health, and I would love for us all to become more educated about women's health. And because I've noticed that there's a lot of younger women now, 30, mid-30s, 20-year-olds and below, that are having so many problems with our periods and things like this. And I feel like if we were to educate ourselves more, then we could, you know, at least aid or assist with all of the problems that we're having. And I was like, so yeah, I guess my purpose is that I would like to inform women about their health. And from that conversation, I was like, I'm going to have an event when I get to London. I didn't think twice. I said, I'm going to have an event. January, I messaged everyone that I thought on Instagram would be like willing to be part of this event. And I just ran with it. And then off the back of the first one, I had such good feedback. I was like, okay, I've had good feedback. I had a good turnout. You know, friends, people that aren't my friends, people that I didn't know, people that just followed me on my PCOS page. So I'm going to do a second one. So I did a second one. And yeah, I have no like plan or like trajectory of how I want things to
Yeah.
go, but I'm just running with things and I'm really enjoying it. Like, I think it's something that we all need. I would love to be able to get to younger girls. I would love to be able to get to schools. I
Hmm.
would love to be able to get to teenage girls, girls that are having their first periods. Like, I would love to
Yeah.
try and branch out to them. And now here we are. Let's Talk Women Wellness is like my little baby, and I'm loving it.
It's
And
incredible.
thank you. Thank you so
It's
much.
incredible because I love the way you say. Well, thanks to your auntie first of all for like
Isn't it?
sparking that.
Yeah,
You need those
literally.
people around you, right? To
Yeah.
just yeah,
You need
yeah,
those people that challenge you a little bit more. I mean, you can be doing okay in life. You can have a good job. You can, earn a little bit of money. But what does that mean at the
yeah,
end of the day?
exactly.
You
How are
need,
you
how are
fulfilled?
you fulfilled? Yeah.
Hmm.
What will people say about you, like, when you're no longer here? And
Hmm.
I thought, yeah, like, no one's going to say, oh, she was a great civil servant. So I thought if I could do something meaningful with all the information that I have, that I genuinely have
Yeah.
a passion for, then why
Hmm.
not? So here I
And all
am.
of that information, like that legacy, is so
Thank you.
wonderful
Yeah. So
because
that's what I'm trying.
yeah. Yeah, but it really is because legacy a lot of the time can be about an individual person, but like yours
Hmm.
will be about what you put out into the world and into the universe that people will be
Thank
able to
you.
access forever. Do you know what I mean?
I
And
hope so. I hope
so
so, because it's not
you
easy.
should be proud. I hear you. It's not easy, but you set your mind to it and you did it, and that's not easy because that imposter syndrome is real. And then the organize,
Yeah.
yeah, I see
Yeah.
the eyes. It is
Yeah. Especially as a
real.
woman of color. Yeah, it is. It is.
Exactly, and you
It
did
is.
it. You did
Thank
it.
you.
It's wonderful. Like I
Thank you so
said,
much.
I will be there at
Yes,
the next
please
one.
do. Please do, girl. I'm definitely going to do some more next year. And I really want to talk. I feel like, I advocate for all of women's health, but I feel like I have a strong passion within our community as well,
Hmm.
because I feel like, unfortunately, I see, well, it's a fact that women are more than likely to suffer from
Yes.
fibroids, and
Hmm.
women of color in the southern eastern Asian community and black community are more than likely to
Yeah.
be diagnosed with PCOS, but we're also
Mhm.
more than likely to be undiagnosed. So if we can like have
Exactly.
these events where we educate ourselves, we realize that the body's all connected, then we can, hopefully
Hmm.
be healthier. So that's my aim. It's a big aim, but that's my aim.
It's a big aim, but you're there. You're doing it. Do
Thank
you know what I
you.
mean? You just need to be out there and visible, and then everything else will
Yes.
come.
They fall
So,
into place.
yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah. And I hope we see you at the next one.
I will be there.
Good.
There's no if buts or maybes. I will be there.
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
for my final question, I just wanted to ask. So, with all of the self awareness you now have and the information you have, what would you say to your younger self and that could resonate with other young girls that may be symptomatic but have no idea about how to access information, what what they may be experiencing to do the research? Like, what would you say to them for them to help themselves?
I would say period pain is common but not normal.
Mm.
Pain usually is indicative of the fact that either something is missing in your system. So whether that means
Okay.
you may be vitamin D deficient,
Mm-hmm.
or you may be having like low iron,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it is. It's not normal. We know that it's not
Mm-hmm.
normal, right? So if you are experiencing a lot of pain, that you can't go to
Yeah.
school, or if your periods are deliberating, that you throw up. I used to throw up every period
Mm-hmm.
as a teenager. I thought it was normal. That is not normal. That is not normal. So I would say to my younger self, your period shouldn't be making you throw up every month, and you shouldn't be in deliberating pain every month, that you can't go to school, you can't go to classes.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that, and have those conversations with either family members or your friends, or if not, try and push to see a doctor. I know it's a little bit difficult in like our African and Caribbean households because we don't talk about periods, we don't talk about sexual health, we don't talk about reproductive health. But I think we need to shift this narrative because it's literally a part of life.